Many men, both at the stage of courting and already inside relationships, ask the same question. How can a man make a woman submit to him? This question appears again and again because men face behavior from women that makes them uncomfortable, dissatisfied, and powerless. They dislike how they are treated, yet they feel unable to change the dynamic. From this helplessness, the desire to subdue a woman is born. In reality, most men are not psychologically unhealthy or obsessed with control. What they truly want is respect. They want to stop feeling vulnerable, pushed around, and forced to comply with moods, demands, and emotional pressure. They want a woman to treat them normally, without contempt, manipulation, or silent domination. The problem begins with the wording of the question itself. A woman cannot be forced into submission in any healthy sense. Outside of violence, which is not under discussion here, submission is always voluntary. A woman submits only when she wants to, and she wants to submit only to a man she perceives as stronger than herself. This is not cruelty. This is not misogyny. This is basic human psychology. Any person willingly submits only to someone they consider stronger, more stable, and more grounded. For women, this is not a flaw. It is a deep internal desire. A woman wants to be next to a man who is stronger than she is, emotionally and psychologically. But look at how most men behave with women. Even men who are harsh, dominant, and confident in society suddenly become apologetic, soft, and submissive in personal relationships. From the very beginning, during dating, courtship, and the so-called romantic phase, they approach women from below. They say, "Sorry, please, is it okay?" and "if you don't mind," endlessly. And this continues, and often worsens, inside relationships. Men themselves create the loss of respect. They allow their boundaries to be crossed just to avoid scaring a woman away. They revolve their entire behavior around pleasing her. They abandon their principles, values, and personal rules. Everything becomes about her comfort, her mood, her approval. She is allowed to invade his space. She is allowed to tell him what to do and how to behave. He tolerates disrespect. He hands over his phone and social media to prove his honesty. He believes this shows openness, but in reality, it signals weakness. Once this happens, the sentence is signed. Men do not even realize that by allowing this once, they establish a permanent hierarchy, and not in their favor. The truth is simple. These men do not want submission. They want respect. They do not want to dominate a woman. They want to stop feeling like servants, tools, or yes men. They want to stop feeling like they must constantly earn permission to exist. So the correct question is not how to make a woman submit, but how to make a woman treat a man with respect, so that submission becomes natural, voluntary, and stable. To speak clearly, the word submission must be replaced with respect. Respect is the foundation. Submission is only a consequence. Here are the principles that earn you respect from women. Understand them, live by them, and the way women treat you will change, whether they want it to or not. First principle: submission cannot be demanded. It is useless to demand submission or respect. A woman must want it herself. Demands without justification are meaningless and destructive. Ordering a woman to obey without reason only provokes resistance and contempt. Any boundary, rule, request, or prohibition must be justified. A man must be able to clearly explain why something is unacceptable, why something must stop, or why something must happen. Not emotionally, not defensively, firmly and directly. If a woman communicates with people who negatively influence her, the man must explain why this is harmful and what consequences will follow. If she adopts behaviors that poison the relationship, the man must articulate why this will not be tolerated. Explanation alone, however, is not enough. If a woman ignores reason, action must follow. A man who is not prepared to act should not expect respect. The core of this principle is simple. A man must be able to explain his position and, when necessary, deliver it in a firm, even ultimatum-like form. Without this, everything else collapses. Second principle: Readiness to leave. A man must always be prepared to leave the relationship if his core principles are violated. This does not mean threatening or manipulating. It means having real internal readiness. A woman must know that a man's values, boundaries, and standards are unshakable. If she tries to bend him, humiliate him, or control him, he will simply walk away. His principles must be more important than the presence of any woman. This is what creates equality. This is what creates mutual need. There must never be a situation where the relationship matters only to the man. If there is no reciprocity, there is no relationship. A man must clearly communicate that the relationship exists only as long as respect exists. Fear of loss destroys authority. Readiness to lose preserves it. Third principle, dominance in the external world. A man must dominate in the external masculine domain. He must make decisions, even in small details. When a man cannot decide where to sit, where to go, or what he wants, he signals weakness. A woman does not want to decide everything. She wants relief from decision-making. She wants to follow someone who leads. Even trivial moments reveal hierarchy. A man who constantly defers, follows, and yields communicates that he is not capable of leadership in larger matters. Dominance here does not mean tyranny. It means calm direction. It means certainty. It means acting without seeking approval. Fourth principle, responsibility. A man must carry responsibility, not only for himself, but also for his woman. Many men resist this idea, asking why they should handle someone else's problems. The answer is straightforward. If a man cannot take responsibility, he is not ready for a relationship. Responsibility is not obligation, it is choice. A man who chooses a woman must want to protect, support, and guide her. This is not sacrifice, it is leadership. Without responsibility, authority is impossible. Hierarchy is always tied to responsibility. The one who carries more weight earns more influence. The one who carries nothing has no authority. Fifth principle, personal correspondence. A man must correspond to the position he wants to occupy. A man who does nothing, does not develop, neglects his body, avoids responsibility, and stagnates, cannot demand respect. If a man becomes lazy, passive, and aimless, he should be grateful that a woman tolerates him at all. Respect is inseparable from self-discipline. Relationships are not entertainment. They are preparation for family. Family requires growth, sacrifice, and leadership. Without purpose, relationships decay into resentment. A man who communicates from below will never earn respect. A man who stands above does so because he has choice, and choice is built through self-development. Sixth principle, position of strength. True authority appears only when a man has options. A man who trembles in front of beauty, cannot speak calmly, cannot initiate physical closeness, and waits for permission, lives in a position of weakness. Strength is not arrogance, it is internal stability. It is knowing that losing one woman does not destroy your life. Until a man builds this internal position of strength, no woman will willingly submit to him. She may stay, but she will not respect him. Respect comes when a woman feels she is with a man who stands firmly in his life, who leads himself, and who is not afraid to walk away. There are no tricks here, no manipulation, no shortcuts, only strength, only boundaries, only action. And this is why most men never achieve it.